All right, welcome to 13 Knot Reviews. This is an inaugural show. This is more like a test run than it is anything, and today we'll be reviewing Pet Sematary 2019. Now, was I excited about this when they announced it? No, not really. I was excited about the directors that they announced that was directing it, which directed the film Starry Eyes, which I was a really big fan of. Kevin KOLSCH and Dennis WIDMYER. Hope I got their names right. I'm very notorious for bad names. Now, the film, one thing we're going to talk about is the film had a $21 million budget. That is something I want to talk about more than anything when I talk about films, because when I'm talking about indie films and when I'm talking about big budget Hollywood films, there's a big difference in that when I score stuff. Now, with the $21 million budget, I don't think there's any reason I should talk about cinematography or framing up the shots or anything. There should be no fucking problem with that whatsoever with $21 million put into the film. The score was really good. The Starry Eye score was really good, so I expected the score for Pet Sematary 2019 to do really well. Going into the film, though, I had very low expectations because when the trailer was announced, I felt like they gave way too much in the trailer. For one, with the little girl dying, like, that should have been something I think they should have saved for the film. They could have teased it with the little boy, which they did anyway when they went into the film. Might be a spoiler, I don't know. I really didn't want to spoil nothing for knowing everybody, but I mean, surely you wouldn't have seen it if you're watching this. And I've heard, like, they even spoiled to me in the trailer why she got dragged into the road. Like in the original, it was the cat. It was the kite, and then in this one, you can tell the cat drags her into the road, like baits her in there to the road to get run over. So I wasn't a big fan of the trailer. So I had kind of low expectations going in. The film is starring Jason Clarke. I'm a fan of his from the movie Lawless. I'm not going to go into all these films that people... But the biggest draw to me was John Lithgow, which is George from Harry and the Hendersons, and he will always be George from Harry and the Hendersons to me. He did an amazing job. Actually, if you want to get technical with it, I think the whole cast and crew did a excellent job acting-wise. Now, I do have some complaints here and there about... But it really isn't their fault. It's more about their character than it is the job they did acting. It's hard to compare, I mean, the old one to the new one, but I think when you're doing a remake, you have to compare it to the old one. This one does not compare to the old one. If you wanted to go character by character down the line, Lewis... The dude in the original was better, even though I did like Jason Clarke's character. Rachel, oh my fucking god! I've never been that ready for that. She was the most annoying character I think since the little kid in the Babadook. I don't know how he could stay with her. Like, if this was a real fucking thing. She had these problems, obviously, when they met because of what happened to her sister Zelda. This dude's a doctor. Fucking throw that one back. Go get you a new one. I mean, because she's got problems that she needs to be locked up or something. Go get you a new one. You can get a child's custody easy with her mental problems. I just could not stand her character, and that's not a knock on her acting. Amy, whatever her last name is, acting, she probably pulled off the character the way it was supposed to be pulled off. the character was just so annoying to me that I wanted her dead. I'm not gonna lie. Zelda, I like the old Zelda better. It was scarier. Like this film, the old Pet Sematary to me is like one of the most scariest movies of all time. This one, not so much. There was aspects that was changed in this one, and I think they did a good job with some of the stuff. I thought the kids rolling the pets to the cemetery wearing the mask was a very creepy thing. Now, if I had just bought some land and I went to my house and I seen that going on, I would probably have a problem with these people being on my property burying their pets. Like if I just bought 50 acres. Speaking of that, who the fuck buys 50 goddamn acres and doesn't know what's on their property? Just shows up, buys it, shows up, hasn't looked at the property at all. Fuck it, 50. You know, I guess you can do that if you're a fucking doctor. I don't know. The walk to the cemetery, I had a problem with that. Because when they actually go to the actual pet cemetery where they bring, I guess you'd say the ground is sour. But when they actually go to it, it almost feels like it just doesn't take no time to get there. It's like just go over the steps and through the marsh and to the fucking... And there's the goddamn stone steps. Now, I don't remember that from part one. It just seems so Hollywood stage built to me or something, more than it is. Looked like it was like a really outside thing. I don't know. I guess, you know, they had the fog, and then I think they added the Wendigo thing. I don't know, but it just seems so stage built and cheap almost. I don't know. I don't know if cheap's the right word, but I remember in the old one, it felt like it took them forever to walk there. You know, walking around a mountain or something, and then get to the top. And it just, I don't know, I think that kind of fell short with me. One thing they did not talk about in the new Pet Sematary, which and I may have missed it, but one thing that always got me when they moved there, and Judd, in the old one, he was talking about the Pet Sematary and why the Pet Sematary is there. And there's a goddamn road. There's that fucking road. With the trucks running over all the pets and stuff. It's why the Pet Sematary is there. And I really don't remember them explaining that. And maybe that doesn't need to be explained, but I liked hearing it in the old one. I thought the little girl's character was probably the only character that was better in the new one than the old one. But with Gage, of course, Gage's character was like non-existent in the new one. So basically, even with the little girl though, they did some scenes where they teased the old one, and then they built up all this tension, and then nothing happened. And then 2 seconds later, it happened anyway. So it was kind of like they was trying to do the old one, and then they teased it, and then they're like, oh, well, yeah, we're going to do it anyway now. So I don't know. It's been a little while since I watched it in theater, so this review may be a little bit off. If so, go ahead and tell me in the comments. Let me know what I said wrong or don't remember exactly what had happened. Now, little girl was a trooper, though. I mean, when she started to climb up the Pet Sematary blockade, and then fell, and then that hornet's nest, and stung by a fucking hornet. I've never seen anybody take a hornet sting that fucking good. Hell, I don't even think I could take a hornet sting that good. I mean, she barely even whimpered during that. As far as the book goes, with the movies, I haven't read the book. So you got people complaining like, oh, well, the new one, you know, it goes by the book a little bit. Some of the scenes go more by the book than what the old one did. I mean, that may be, but I really don't give a shit because I didn't read the book. Now, I'm sure the old one has scenes in it that they went by the book that the new one didn't. I don't know. I was really let down by the ending of the new one. I thought it was a little lackluster for me. And it just kind of just stopped. I mean, at least show me what you're going to do. It kind of just left off. I mean, you kind of know is implied. It's got an implied ending. Fuck it, show it. God damn. Stop teasing us. Now, I have heard there's 3 different endings. Maybe they will put all 3 endings on the Blu-ray when it comes out. Having said that, about the Blu-ray is something that this movie reminds me of a movie that would go straight to Blu-ray if it did not have the name Pet Sematary behind it. I do not think this was a movie theater quality film. I think this is a straight to Blu-ray $14.96 at Walmart film. So I won't be rushing out to go buy the film. Now eventually I will, because I thought it was still a good watch. I just don't feel like it's I feel like it's one of those like you went to Walmart and you saw a movie and it was like, it looks interesting. $14.96. Buy it, take it home, watched it. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with spending the $15. I'm not going to be happy with spending $30 on a goddamn 4K for this. So, I'll probably end up buying it at some point just to have it because I did enjoy it, I guess. But, not enough to pay like that much for it. So, if it's like $14.96, when it goes down to $14.96 or something, I'll probably pick it up, or I may pick it up used or something, just to have it in the collection because everybody knows I spend the shit out of money on fucking movies and stuff. I was trying to think if there was any. The cover song. Oh my god. You know, I almost think they should have just left that alone, and maybe I don't know if they just should have got the Ramones. I mean, the Ghostbusters remake did the same thing, and I hate to even bring that abomination up. But yeah, they should have left the Ramones alone on that one too as well. Overall, I was thinking they gave something else like away in the trailer, but overall, I think the John Lithgow did an excellent job. But going down, I don't think I finished this before, but going down character by character, Gage was not as good in this one as the first. Gage was not existent as he was in the original one. That was very disappointing. With the switching of the Ellie with the Gage, I feel like they went more PC with that. Like, okay, let's kill the older kid and not the younger one this time. Judd did a very good job. John Lithgow, awesome as usual, but he still was not. The original Judd was still better. The original Rachel was better. The original Lewis was better. Ellie was the only character in the film that was better. And one thing that I do want to talk about is Victor Pascal. Pascal was my favorite. I wouldn't say my favorite character from part 1, but he was definitely what scared me the most from part 1. I don't know why. It might have been the look. And though his character, it just, I'm 8-9 years old watching this, and he kind of freaked me out a little bit. While I did like Pascal's look in the 2019 remake, I felt like they should have did more with him. Like they didn't give him no fucking lines. I mean, I seem to remember Pascal having like fucking paragraphs or some shit in the old one. This one, he had a very cool look, but they took his lines away. He had like one-liners or something, and And then he's trying to communicate with the kid that can't talk, which is Gage. When we see in the original, he's communicating with Ellie. So, I don't know why they did that to Pascal. I felt like he needed more lines and more scenes in this one. Like I said, he still had a very cool look. He just... They just didn't do enough with him. Zelda was creepy in this one too, but nowhere near the old one. I don't really know what to say about her as much. I mean, like, I thought they did a decent job with Zelda, but the old one was definitely creepier. Other than that, that's about all I got for this review for Pet Sematary 2019. Do I think they should have made the remake? I mean, to me, remakes are a mixed bag, because I like remakes because it gives me something new to watch, for one. I don't necessarily always like them. This one was a decent watch. When you remake something, I feel like you gotta have... I need that wow. I need that you wow me on something. This one didn't wow me on anything. To separate itself, to say anything is better than the original. One that I would say wowed me was Evil Dead 2013. It separated itself from the original. It had just a lot of wow factor to it to me. I don't know. Overall, I'm going to give this film... I think I actually, when I originally seen it in the theater, I think I gave it around a 3 out of 5, but I think I'm going to bring that down to a 2.5. 2.5 out of 5. Once again, I appreciate y'all hanging with me. 13 Knot Reviews. Y'all come back. Nobody wants to hang along. Subscribe, like. See y'all later. Appreciate it.